Welcome, everybody, to our Sunday live town hall meeting that we have every Sunday here at 1 p.m. Pacific time. My name is D. Mac Uno. I'm one of your hosts. Wesley in the building. Miss My also here. How's everybody doing today? Let me cut back to revelationary music before we get into this discussion. There we go. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on this Sunday. The score of the game right now is 14 Eagles, 6 Commanders. As that plays in the background here, Wesley is getting set up. Miss My is all black. Solidarity. There we go, right there, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing today, sir?
I'm all right, man. You see what he do, man?
I'm just saying, are you going to be able to get back?
That's what I was thinking the same thing.
I'll be able to get back. That's what I'm saying. I just saw that they put tariffs. So if nobody
what's going on?
Donald Trump has put ordered tariffs and visa restrictions on Colombia over rejecting deportation flights. And sir, that's where you at right now. I told you. I was like, hey, before you left, I was like, look, I'd be nervous to leave the country because I don't know if they're going to let us back in.
This is what they can't stop me from coming back in. I'm an American citizen. I mean, they can stop me from flying out or something like that.
Pablo? Are you Rodrigo?
You feel what I'm saying?
That's
the one thing. That's the one thing I'm not too concerned about. But at the same time, though, I mean, it's just the way that he's flailing around right now shows poor leadership, poor judgment. How you doing, my? All the way around the table. This is one of the stupidest things he could do because he basically. But let's start from the beginning. Okay, they had a few flights from migrants that were supposed to be going back to Colombia. Also going back to is that me?
No, you're good. What's it sound like?
Can y'all hear that?
It could be my washer. Let me close my door.
No, it's me. It's over here. If y'all can't hear this, good. All right, they had a few flights that they already have rejected. That were supposed to go to Mexico. They had going to Colombia. They had it go to Guatemala as well. I guess someone said they had something going to Brazil that had landed. Guatemala accepted their migrants. Mexico and as well as Colombia rejected the flights. First they said yes, they can bring them, but then when it came time for them to land, they said they couldn't land. They're like, you guys can't land here. XYZ. I'm not sure why. I do think that they should take of course, you should take your people back. It is what it is. You're supposed to take them back, but at the same time, the way he's going about it is just bad business by putting tariffs on these countries. And he said any of their allies as well. You know what I mean? So how many countries do you think are allied with Mexico?
He said what it was going to be. It's America first. And so he's going to say, I mean, the rest of the world is trading without us. They're trading without us. They're like, hey, we don't need you.
Okay. Basically this is what the order reads. He said, I was just informed that two repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who is already very unpopular amongst the people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. So I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures: emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50%. A travel ban and immediate visa revocations on Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters. So this is not so much as people. It's just, you know what I mean? This is the government that he's kind of directing this at. And to me, it's just like, it's wild, really. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're flailing. You know, so who else are you gonna have to throw in there? Are you throwing in there? So if they're allied with any European nations, are you gonna also put tariffs on them too? Are you also going to put, like all their allies and supporters? What does that even mean? You know, that's just how
he's going to bully his way to whatever he wants. I mean, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be aggressive. The thing that's like really bothering me right now is what they got rid of the Tuskegee. The Tuskegee teaching in the Air Force. You know what I'm saying? It's like basically the U.S. Air Force will no longer teach its recruits about the Tuskegee Airmen. The more than 15,000 black pilots, mechanics, and cooks in a segregated army of World War II. An official with the military branch confirmed on Ritter Saturday. Course instruction about the pilot, as well as videos of women Air Force service pilots. WASP, a paramilitary aviation organization of female pilots employed to fly during World War II, was also pulled from basic training curriculum. So, I mean, if you look at this, if you look at it, that's what it was. Like, the Tuskegee Airmen, they were in segregation. So that has nothing to do with DEI. So we actually see what it is now. Exactly what it is now.
It definitely has something to do with I won't even call it that. It doesn't have something to do with diversity, just kind of learning about diversity. It's almost like teaching people about the diversity of how this place came about, how black pilots were implemented into the service, put into the service. It definitely has something to do with those things, but it has nothing to do with, they're just basically trying to wash history right now. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
And they're washing us out of history.
It's what's been going on for a long time, though. This is not a new thing.
They're already trying to take us back to the civil rights, because he also signed an executive order this week about taking away the workers' protection rights, which was from 1964, which protected us in a workplace. Yeah. So technically, we're just going to have to prepare ourselves to literally be ready for another civil war, apparently, is how I'm playing.
Well, that, or we just need to just, branch together and just, stop accepting people into our circle like they're doing, because, and then we're just going to have to go back to the times where we relied on each other. I know it's going to be difficult because, a lot of people ain't going to be on board. We're just going to have to say, fuck them. And then a lot of people that, we can't let people smile on our faces no more. We can't accept what we have to accept. We shouldn't have to be nice to people no more because they're not being nice to us. This is coming from the top. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. So it's like maybe segregation will be better for us.
You believe that?
I kind of do. I'm gonna have to, because that's what they're doing to us right now.
Yeah, I don't see that as being something that actually could be helpful to us at all, especially not with the way things already are. You know what I mean? Pretty much how things used to be is that you could go out and still kind of, like you said, there's no way to recover. You've been saying this for a while. There's going to be less jobs going forward. There's going to be less opportunities going forward, period. Because of AI and because of a lot of other things that are already happening. You look at like people who worked in the graphic design field. That's done now. People who worked in editing, different kind of editing fields, a lot of those are done and over with. There's a lot of jobs. I spoke with my cousin a little bit earlier. And he was of the viewpoint that he felt like this was, a good thing for the nation that was happening, and also like kind of a good thing for black people. And I had to tell him, I said, listen, it's already affecting us. He said it's not going to too much affect us with what they're doing with this. I said it's already affecting us. With all those DEI jobs that they got rid of, all those diversity, equity, inclusion jobs, they got rid of people who were specializing in those fields. Do you think a lot of them were not people of color, black people working in those fields?
Women also, yeah, it was women.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of them.
And my bro just came over the other night, and he was like, his mom was supposed to get this job, doing something in the medical field, and because they got DEI, they basically said her job was a DEI hire, so she lost her job. I was like, damn,
it's already affecting us. This is how I look at it. There was a comedian once. He was like, back in the day, he was like, man, one time I got pulled over, as me, and I was in a car full of black dudes. But I was the only one. I was Mexican, and the cop said, "All you N-words, get out the car." He said, "You think I didn't get out the car too?" Because they're not when they're talking about them, they're not just talking about them. They talking about us too. When there's no hide, we even if we're the last ones they end up coming after, There's no hiding from what they're trying to do. Period. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way that I see this when I'm looking at this. It's just no way that we can't take a stand for people who, I mean, they're marginalizing a lot of people in this country. They're pumping fear. You're starting to see a lot of things where people who voted for Donald Trump, a lot of people who are Latinos are starting to now see that he was talking about you too.
Yeah, hold on.
He didn't look at you like you were a good one. You know what I mean? That's you guys are trying to hide behind. No, I'm a good one. No, you're not. They don't care about that. They don't want you here. Period.
Yeah,
that's all it is to it.
There's some weird news I read today. It was basically, where is it? I just had it pulled up here. It's about Elon Musk and how they're it's like basically Donald Trump's ice maiden chief of staff. They're freezing Elon Musk out their West Wing because Trump came out with that $500 million thing, right, about the AI, and then Elon was like, yeah, they only incurred like $3 million. That's not going to happen. He kind of stepped on their toes, and so they're like, nah, bro, you ain't gonna be up here with us. You can't be here. So I was like,
there's some infighting going on here.
Yeah, infighting for sure.
They moved him across the street. They moved him across the street. So the breakup is coming. It's gonna be big, bad, and I'm here for the whole entire movie. I swear.
I mean, it's got to happen because I mean, Trump wants the money, but at the end of the day, Elon probably knows where the bodies are hidden though too. That's a whole nother thing right there. He probably knows exactly where the bodies are hidden. He probably knows exactly how to push on the right buttons that is going to be required for them to be able to for them to be able to hurt Trump. You get what I'm saying? I guarantee he has a lot of emails from Trump. He probably has a lot of information that people probably don't even know he has dirt on Trump. And once he's no longer with the in crowd as far as MAGA is concerned, there's going to be a problem. And it's something that we all need to like pay attention to as well. But I really want us to pay attention to what's happening with this whole these tariffs and stuff like that. I think we've gotten ourselves into a situation to where we think that tariffs are going to be good for America. And
no, we've already explained those tariffs aren't good for us. I'm worried about, the migrants are in hiding, right? All of them. They're all in hiding. They're not showing up to work. Okay. So yeah, the farms are about to collapse pretty soon. So, I mean, we shall see. Actually, it's wintertime. We get all our produce mostly from Mexico anyways right now. So,
I mean, like this is what I'm saying. So how do we look at something like how tariffs are going to play out? That, okay, if a person is going to require tariffs to be put on the product that's already being made elsewhere, so that means that product's going to increase. The price on that product is going to increase. So now when it's being made here, our minimum wage is already so high that if you bring it over here to make it, that's why we were making it everywhere else, because it costs less. So now you're going to have that product. You're basically raising prices to keep them elevated, pretty much, to create a job here. That doesn't make sense.
It's not going to create any American jobs. Because what are they keeping? They're keeping the H-1Bs, right? They only have to pay the H-1Bs visas, them $7.25 an hour for something that they would pay an American $40 or $50 an hour for. So like the Tesla workers, you get the computers for the cars and all that. The immigrants are doing that because they already have the schooling from wherever country they're from. Bring them here, pay them $7.25 an hour. Because why would you pay an American $40 to $50 an hour for a same job that you can pay an immigrant for $7.25, who's not going to complain because first of all, they're in America. Second of all, they have the sponsorship. Third of all, they're getting paid, but they don't know that they're getting underpaid because they're in America.
Or they don't care that they're getting underpaid at the end of the day. They like, what, it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Because I'm here, I'm in America, like you said, I got a job, I'm about to get my visa, I'm about to be able to live in this country. They don't really care at this point in time. That's how I see it. Yeah.
How do you feel about the let me make sure I'm unmuted. How do you feel about remember that I was telling you about the gentleman? Let me find the story really quick. I thought it was funny, but I told you we're going to kind of get there right soon. Here we go. It says, contraception begins at erection. Mississippi bill would fine unprotected sex. A bill to ban unprotected sex without the intent to procreation has been filed by the Democratic and Mississippi state, and the bill is called Contraceptive Begins at Erection Act. But it's basically, at first I was like, these people are wilding. But what they were trying to show, like the stupidity of what it is, because they're trying to ban all contraceptives anyways. Like they're trying to ban condoms, birth control, all that shit. And so he put the bill up there where he's like, if you're having sex unprotected, you ain't trying to have a baby, it should be a crime. And that's for the men.
Do you think he was serious? Do you think this is a serious?
I think he said it was a jab, but I mean, it could pass, depending, the way the world's going.
Who was it, a Republican?
Yeah, no, it was a Democrat that did it.
It was a Democrat. I think
so I get it. Okay.
Yeah, he said it was a gag. He was like, yo, it's a stupid bill. He said the bill was caused snarky jokes to be jabbed at the Magnolia State from social media and publications around the country, but the bill's author acknowledged the intent is to get a political rise, so to speak, from some opponents. He says you have male-dominated legislators in Mississippi and all over the country that pass laws that dictate what women can and cannot do with their bodies. Blackmon said in the bill written statement, it was raised by strong parents that preached equality for all. My mother and my father both believe in equal rights for women. And when a bill has been filed that would regulate what a man is able to do with his own body in his own home, it suddenly has people in an uproar. I'm trying to figure out when it's okay for the government to dictate what you do in the privacy of your own home. Apparently, it is when the law regulates men.
Yeah, I mean, that like I said, that's kind of a weird way of doing it, but I get what he's doing. I get where he's going with it, but it's not going to go anywhere. What do y'all think about?
I think it's the same way that when I think it was either the Senate or Congress, they brought a bill to the floor asking if they can change like the name of the Washington, D.C. International Airport to Donald Trump International Airport. So the Democrats replied with another article saying that that's change a prison in Florida to Donald Trump's prison instead.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He might like that.
Political jab.
That's where he says send them all there. Everyone I don't like.
What do you guys remember we talked about the Mississippi law that they're trying to put in place, the bounty hunter program?
That was Missouri.
No, it's Mississippi on this one. It says Mississippi introduces bounty hunter. It might have been Missouri the first time we talked about it, but Mississippi introduced a bounty hunter program to target undocumented migrants. And so pretty much they're doing the same thing where they're going to pay $1,000 per migrant that you report, that you know what I mean? All you got to do is report them, pretty much. Say they're over here and they're trying to basically get local people to get involved in helping them to get rid of migrants, people who are here illegally in this country. What do you guys think about that program?
Well, I mean, it's they've already had news articles where they're saying, like, basically, if you don't want to get stopped as a migrant, you need to carry around your birth certificate. And so that's for everyone that's not white. Let's just keep it 1,000. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat the world no more. Because we posted it on the web, and so I mean, it's good as long as I can make money off it. It is what it is. Say this is what the people voted for. I guess they didn't realize what they voted for. I'll be damned. I'll pistol whip somebody if they try to confront me asking me if I'm a migrant.
But would you participate in the program?
Hell yeah.
I mean, so basically, even knowing kind of what all this stuff is boiling down to, because we see it right now. They attacking the civil rights laws right now, chipping away at basically the Civil Rights Act as much as they can. They've done what else?
Sooner or later they're gonna start retro dating everything. They'd be like, well, you didn't have these laws back then. I mean, as soon as they can do anything. You see, they've already introduced articles to try to give him a third term, but ice Obama out of it. So I mean, there's no limits. And I always tell people this: there's no limits to evil. They're gonna find a way to do whatever they want.
And so, like, does that mean that you want to participate in that kind of evil, that kind of hate over money? So that's why I'm not trying. This isn't a personal attack at you. This is us just discussing this with people, so people understand what this really is, because sometimes money will blind a lot of us to really kind of what it is, because you get what I'm saying, because in reality
it's kind of like an Underground Railroad thing. I'm good. I don't want to participate in that shit,
but do you get what I'm saying? Because we have to almost think about it past the fact of $1, and it's messed up because it's like, man, that's $1,000. They understand it's $1,000, and it's damn near like we would tell on our sales, okay, because guarantee you think they didn't do this, tell slaves this, I'll give you, you know what I mean?
I give you 3 days without a whipping this week.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
just
tell
me what y'all went.
You get what I'm saying? And there's people who like, I'm gonna tell you, I ain't getting no, whatever they're getting, extra hog maws, whatever they got. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I'm like, you know what? Sometimes we got to put our morals above money, Period, plain and simple. It has to happen. I can't look at them and say, even though I understand, I get it. I'm not for illegals in this country, but there's a better way to go about it. Period, plain and simple. And the reasoning on why they're doing it, I understand the reasons why they're going about everything they are. This has nothing to do with saving America. This has something to do with the purification of one race here in this country and keeping one race in this country here strong. That's what this is all about. Period, plain and simple. Yes, you know what I mean? And that's to the detriment of the whole country of the country as a whole. You look at how they're attacking California, saying that, hey, your aid is contingent upon you doing X, Y, and Z. That didn't happen to Louisiana when they had Katrina. Didn't happen in Florida when they've had a hurricane every other day. You know what I mean? Basically every year they got hurricanes in Florida. Doesn't happen in Texas when they have hurricanes down there. It doesn't happen anywhere else when they run into those problems. And California pays more into the federal government than any other state by far, you know. And so if I'm California, I'm like, well, shit, what am I paying you guys for? But once they do that, what does that create now? What same thing my mind was saying, damn near civil war.
You know, our laws are just there for them to enforce them on the poor folks and the people they can. Because I mean, you just let out everybody that committed the crime in January 6th. You're expunging their records right now. You're taking all the stuff offline. You committed enough crimes where he should have been arrested and been in jail, but he's not.
He let his co-defendants out pretty much.
He let his co-defendants, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So the laws of the lands, they're all a joke. The Constitution has been stepped on. It's not even on White House page anymore, website. So I mean, like, what are we really doing here? Like,
hey, we're a flailing empire. This is what happens. This probably was what happened in Rome and many other, even look at Mali, back when Mali was an empire, back when they had the Mansas were around, and this is what happens when your empire is crumbling. This, you know what I mean? Everyone starts to flail, and it's like they're trying to grab for whatever they can. So this is what we're going through right now. This is going to be we're probably going to go through it for another 10 years. Who knows? Just different steps. I think in 2 years he's going to lose the House. I believe in 2 years he'll lose the House because prices are going to be out of control in this country. Out of control. Everyone's going to look back and they're going to be like, "Oh, we made a bad mistake, but you really didn't. This is really who you are."
Yeah, this is what you want.
Let's not forget who these people were. People, it's like I'm talking to my cousin. He's like, and my cousin's an intelligent man. He has a doctorate and everything. He's a highly intelligent man. And I'm talking to him. I was like, man, we don't see that this is not about just these people. This is about us too. This is our fight too. You know, it's not. We may not be front line. It's like the reason why I believe in the Ukraine war, because they're front line against Russia. Let them fight the front line. There's just people who are in front of us right now. Those are the immigrants and the migrants. Then eventually they're going to come and get to us.
Come get us.
They just D-Mac, they just
yeah, no, I've said that before.
Just fund it.
I've told people that. I'm like, what do you think these bounty hunters and these militias he created, when they round up all the migrants, who do you think they're coming for next?
D-Mac, they just refunded all the federal, private prisons. They just refunded all those. They're going to put the migrants on them. When the migrants are gone, when they get them out of there, who do you think's they got to keep those prisons full? We've seen this story before. We've seen this movie happen to us before. This ain't the first time. This is the Fast and the Furious 17 for us. We know what's coming next. We better pay attention and quit thinking that. Sometimes we're at a point right now where we're getting to be what Lyndon B. Johnson told them. If you make the lowliest Caucasian man think he's better than the highest black man, he'll give you the last dollar out of his pocket. Right now, we're sitting back thinking that they're pointing the finger like it's not about us. We better get out of our feelings real quick. So I guarantee you, a lot of us know some people who lost their jobs due to all these DEI programs going away. Guarantee you.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's a person on here who was that you who just said somebody who didn't get a job.
Yeah, my brother's mom. She was supposed to get hired for this job. I think it was like a medical job. She'd been working in this field for about 30 years, and actually they were supposed to give her a promotion. And then the promotion went away because they were like, yeah, it was a DEI job. It was a job that they were giving to her. It wasn't because she was black, you know what I'm saying? But it was just
they could write it off like that.
She lost the job because she was black.
They can write it off as that right now.
When I used to work for transit, they had to have so many black people there to get federal funding. You know what I'm saying? They didn't like them there, but they had to have so many there to get federal funding. And now they ain't got to worry about it no more. So, you know what I'm saying? It's if people can, it's basically, I'm not, people, oh, you're always pulling the race card. You're always talking about race. Well, look, everything is in your face right now. This is what's going on. It's an attack on black and brown people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to take it personally because I'm a black person. That's just what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? I got to worry about me and mine, just like everyone else did when they voted for Trump because they didn't want whatever they didn't want. You know what I'm saying? Well, now you're going to live in a world where, minorities are on the run. Crime is going to stay. Actually, crime's going to get worse because you're not going to have your eggs are going to be $20 a fucking dozen. So
Did you hear about their and now they've officially said that they're going to take Gaza pretty much. He did say that. He officially put that out, like, you know what I mean? Basically,
he's like everyone from Gaza needs to go to Egypt and Jordan, all the refugees.
He said 1.5 million Palestinians. He wants to basically relocate them to Egypt and Jordan. And he's also said we just need to clean the whole thing out. You know, it's over. You know what I mean? Clean the whole place out. Pretty much take it. It's waterfront property. We all know his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. He's already bought some old blown up. I think it was in Syria somewhere. He bought some property. I can't remember the country it was over there. He already bought some of those old like blown up buildings or something before and refurbished them. Whatever he did with them, built some apartment complexes or whatever out of them already. So now these guys are about to take Gaza and give it back to Israel, which you know, this your president's bought, man. If you don't see that right there with this whole thing, he comes out and says this is not our war, but we funded the war, and then the entire time we've given these guys all the missiles and bombs and everything else. You know what I mean? Period, plain and simple. We've given them all the missiles to take care of this. So how is it not our war? You know what I mean? Like without us, they wouldn't have been able to fight that war. Period. And now we're basically turning a blind eye and going to allow them to steal Gaza.
No. This is exactly what was going to happen. See, people didn't realize that. Like, you know,
I don't know who that is. Kendall, I'm not sure what the comment was for, but please.
I think she's talking about like the
Trump, probably. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, or elaborate on it. But the whole thing is, you know, people thought like because Joe Biden, they were at a situation like, you know, Israel knew they could do whatever they want. It was election year. You know what I'm saying? Like it was going to look bad no matter what the Democrats did. And so people, I mean, like they even had Muslims like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Donald Trump will give us, I knew exactly what he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, oh no, all the people can go. And he going to have a place right there. They're going to give him a place.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, like I said, Jared Kushner is who he is. You know what I mean? I think he's a person of Jewish descent as well. And so, I mean, he's already, like I said, he's already given them Jerusalem as their capital, which was no one had ever done that because it was supposed to be half and half. Half of Jerusalem was supposed to be for the Palestinians. Half of them were supposed to be for the Israelis. I mean, he's already he's pandering to them at a level of, I can't even, I'm looking at his supporters and like, you guys don't see that he's bought. You guys, they don't really care. You know what I mean? They think that things are going to go in their direction because it's a short, to me, it's all a short-term kind of a win for us. All this bullying we're doing down in South America, you think that's going to be helpful to us if Mexico looks at us as an enemy, or if Canada looks at us as an enemy, or if, you know, any of these Colombia looks at us as an enemy? To me, that's kind of like we got to pay attention. If you're my enemy, who do I turn to? China. That's the next best thing. And now, next thing you know, you got China trying to put bases in Mexico.
Yeah, I saw that too. The report. They're like, "Hey, if they ain't gonna help you out, we gonna help you out." I mean, it is what it is. You know, the people.
He's doing this intentionally, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, we were talking in private a little bit, but I was like, "Yo, he fired all the people that have the means to help you get out this country." You know what I'm saying? Like, they took over the TSA, they took over the Coast Guard, or he fired all the people, and then they're controlling the border. So after a certain point, you're not gonna be able to leave. You know what I'm saying? He could be like, hey, you can get out, but they're not going to let you leave. And look, everything I've already talked about that I figured they were going to do, and everyone's probably said, oh, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. It happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I just see it coming. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be some. I mean, it's only been a week.
And we're already this far in, man. And we're already this deep in right now with such a short, you know what I mean? Like, what's next? I mean, you're putting tariffs on everybody across the board. Who
you know what comes out on the sorry do you know what comes out on January 28th?
Tell us.
No.
The G7 reports.
Okay, so what do you think
So Canada kind of already said what they're going to put in their report. They're going to push Congress to impeach and remove Donald Trump as president. And their way of doing it is saying that they will cut off our power and take the whiskey off of our shelves to push them to do it.
Whoa, the whiskey.
I think they're going to definitely. I heard.
Hold on, Wesley. Hold on. The whiskey.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
hold on.
We get our whiskey from Canada, so they are literally saying that because if he implements the tariffs, they're trying to push Congress and Senate to like literally impeach him and move him out of office.
He'll just
So their
invade
way
Canada.
of doing that, but that way of him doing, the way of them pushing them to do it is to say that they're going to turn off our power and they're going to take the whiskey off of our shelves. Because that's the two major big themes that we get from them.
Oil as well. We get a lot of our oil from Canada. A lot of our oil comes from Canada. Our energy prices, they can mess up our energy prices across the board.
They're going to cut off our power.
Yeah,
well, just like this. I mean, Donald Trump will just be like, oh, he'll just come. He'll just take.
I heard Ottawa. I think it's Ottawa. I'm not sure what his position was in Ottawa. He's like a leader in Ottawa. He said the same thing. He said we'll cut the power off. And a lot of the northwestern states get their power from Canada. But what are northwestern states? I'm going to say not northwest. I'm sorry, northeastern states. What are they? Most of them are Democratic leaning states. You think he's going to care if the power gets cut off in New York? You think he's going to care? He doesn't care about California. He don't care about anybody in this country who does not vote for him or do what he wants to do. That's kind of what we all seen this.
I think he'll just take Canada. He'd be like, look, I'm going to come up there and take it. Pete got confirmed today. So that's a done deal.
Taking countries though, man, is look, okay. Do we think
hold on.
Trying to take over Canada is going to screw
Gaza.
us.
We watched genocide in real time.
Yeah,
and he supports it. So why wouldn't he be like, you know what? I'm going to show y'all. He's like, hold my beer. I'm going to take Canada. I'm going to take Mexico. I'm going to take Greenland. I'm going to take Panama.
The thing about it is,
who's going to do something about it?
But
what
David,
other country is going to step up and be like, stop that? You couldn't even stop Israel. Yeah.
No. But listen. So if that happens, guess who's behind? Canada, Panama, Greenland, Mexico.
Who?
NATO. So
NATO.
It would literally
Canada's a member of NATO.
United States versus the other NATO countries, and then Russia, China, and North Korea is going to be like, oh, it's the soft spot because we're fighting another different war. Why not attack us at the same time that we're technically weakened?
Or just take what you want to take everywhere else. I wouldn't even attack at that point in time. If I'm those countries, I'm going to take Taiwan. I'm going to do everything else I want to go and do to secure the spots I want to secure outside of. Let us fight amongst ourselves. Well, I'm not going to involve myself or my resources in that kind of a conflict. NATO is going to definitely try and defend Canada because Canada is a member of NATO. That's definitely
what are they really about to do though?
I mean, there's nothing they can do, but I mean, you have to look at it's bigger than just what can they do. It's almost like how does this hurt us? How does this affect us long term? You know what I mean? If you north and south of us are no longer secure, that's what's kept America safe. The fact that we have these oceans between us, between most of the rest of the world, and we're our northern neighbor and our southern neighbor, both of them got our back. That's what's kept us safe, and that's why I'm saying this man right here is definitely not putting America first. He's not thinking long term. You know that Colombia was basically about to try and help out with the Venezuelan problem. That would have been a huge thing because Colombia had stated, some of the people in the government have said, hey, why don't we go in here and attack Venezuela? Not saying that that would have helped us with that problem. That's a neighbor in our backyard that we have conflict with, which is Maduro, who has spoken about invading Puerto Rico, which I know he wouldn't do, but it's a point that he even talked about it. They kind of brought it up because of that. But you think this is going to help with that kind of rhetoric? He comes out now, he wants to put tariffs on them. I think this situation should be resolved quite easily because they should take back their immigrants. But our president is not doing what's best for America in my eyes at all. I don't see that happening. I think
we're back to bully. We're back to bully politician, bully politics. Excuse me, it's hard for me to get that out.
No,
but I mean. That is actually what it is. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying, I'm not scared about shit. I've been preparing for this for 2 years.
It doesn't work, though. It doesn't work.
People have to learn the hard way. And so that's what it is. A lot of people need to learn the hard way because a lot of people just have never had to deal with adversity ever in their lives. And so in their lives, they can look at other people and be like, well, you're messing. And when something bad happens, they need someone to point the finger at. And he needs to be the person they point the finger at. There's nobody they're going to be able to blame. They changed enough stuff and put enough executive orders there in the first week to make it where there's anything bad that happens, you have to blame him. You can't go back and be like, well, Joe Biden did this and did that. No.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you guys this quick question. Before, when there were world wars before, right? They were mostly speaking about Europe, America, and maybe Japan. You know what I mean? There weren't in other countries, like there was no South America wasn't involved. Africa really wasn't involved other than it was a battleground where people were trying to take fighting to take land from other colonizers. So it was really just Europe fighting themselves. The Middle East was kind of used as an airport. They were land their planes there to kind of use them off jump off points. But the rest of the world wasn't involved. India wasn't. None of these other countries were involved. China was basically involved de facto because Japan invaded it. That was it. But now you look at these militaries around the world now, the countries that are strong now, the whole world has militaries. The whole world is strong. It's not like what are they going to do? There's a lot that can be done. I'm not saying we couldn't win, but at what cost? There will be a fight. There will be a fight.
Joe Biden stopped sending Israel, those 5,000 pounds of bombs or whatever, and Trump just was like, "No, we're going to start doing that again." So he's good with it. He's good with. And the whole thing is, they're gonna throw up their hands. He may have. I would start with Mexico first, just to test out the waters, because you might have trouble with Canada because it's basically like a European country. You know what I'm saying? He could tell them, get down or lay down. NATO's going to say something about it, but ain't nobody going to fight us back. This is America. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? They're
definitely going to fight back.
The name may not be good, but them weapons still strong.
Now, but they'll definitely fight us back. You only got so many troops. You only got everybody got guns, B. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got weapons. It ain't like it used to be. They
stopped making guns when they made Joe, son.
You feel what I'm saying? Like it ain't like it used to be. Everybody ain't just going to just lay. Mexico's not going to lay down. That's like, did Iraq lay down? We got ourselves all the way into Baghdad. Don't get me wrong. We fought that war from insurgencies, whatever you want to call it. Really, it was just residents fighting for their land back. That's what that really was for years.
It's a different. We got a different.
Years.
Our military's different now. Before they would fight. It's different now. It's different. You got these people. They don't care about no casualties.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, he's trying to get the trans and the gays out of the military too.
15,000. 15,000. Yeah,
that's more than 50. Like more than 50% of the military is either gay or trans.
That's a lot of people right there. 50%.
Yeah, especially I hate to knock it.
That's a high number right there.
High number. Yeah, it's a lot.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter. 50% or 15,000, whatever it is, he's getting them out. And that's a problem for us. We're already having recruitment issues. Do you think
we're not? We're having recruitment issues. Watch, they're gonna like a homeboy did in Oklahoma. Listen, he's like, hey, you got 3 choices. You got college, trade school, military. That's all you got.
I'm gonna tell you, when people start caring about wars is when bodies start dropping. When caskets start coming back home, people start caring about wars. That's what happens. When people start losing their kids, that's what happens.
Yeah, but we got a different president and different military. There's no diplomacy in this. He's like, I'll just bomb you to hell and take whatever and rebuild whatever I want after that. They don't care.
Okay, well, I'm gonna break it down like this. We take an oath when we swear into the military, just like he was supposed to take an oath, and he's supposed to live by that too, right? But if the president or anybody tells us to do something that's unlawful, the military can technically deny. I can literally tell you that now. We're not allowed to do anything that's unlawful, even if we're demanded by the president or anybody else to do something. If it does not go with any laws, we cannot do it in the military.
Let me ask you this, Mike. Do you believe that people will? I mean, do you think that? I think the military is. Do you believe the military will listen to that inner voice within themselves to say not to do something, or will they listen to the president?
It's more for them to listen technically to themselves, because the president might say, oh, you have to invade this country, or we have to invade this country, or we have to do this, or we have to do that, right? That's what he would say. But there's also a whole nother agency out there that's 3 letters that's technically international. So if the military is like, well, I was told by Donald Trump, who is the president, that I need to invade Greenland. And they decide that they're going to invade Greenland. The international, like CIA or Hague or whatever other 3-letter agency is going to go after our military personnel. They're not.
But let me ask you this: right now, he's putting the people in place though, so that none of this matters. He's going to make sure the heads of those agencies are run by people who are loyal to him.
He can't choose who's in charge of the international thing. He has no say on anything international. Like Jack Smith literally wrote when he put out the reports, he said that he left the DOJ, right? The DOJ is here in the United States. That's not Hague. He's part of Hague. He went back to his original job.
No, I got you. I mean, but let me ask you this. Do you believe that? I believe the military is voted for Trump overwhelmingly. I believe most people in the military voted for Trump.
But now a lot of the people that did probably vote for him are like enlisted soldiers. I'm
That,
not going to say
and that's the people that you need. All you need is the people to go and act. You know, all I need is the troops. I mean,
no, but the
generals,
thing about it is, even though you have the troops, right? You can have the troops that back up whatever Donald Trump says. The higher ups are terrified for their lives because they don't want to go to international jails or anything else like
Coast
that.
Guard, the head of the Coast Guard was just fired by him. I mean, he fired the woman who was the first woman to lead a major military branch, got rid of her, putting his person in. He's basically going through, he said, getting rid of all woke hires. That's what he said. Basically, what did he call them? A political appointees.
Yeah, and he's gonna get in trouble
right
for those. I think he fired like 11 or 12 people.
Who do you think? But who do you think is going to get him in trouble? The Supreme Court, federal court?
No, it has nothing to do with the United States.
International.
There's international
ICC.
things.
They got ICC. They got the International Criminal Court as well too. They put a warrant. This is not be a disagreement. I'm just saying they put a warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu's arrest. Putin's arrest.
Yes.
They ain't arrested any of those people. They came to America. We don't even really recognize the ICC because we know we're going to commit crimes around the world, and we don't want our people having to be upheld to those same standards as we would tell other people that they should be upheld to. So I just don't. Yeah. Who's going to arrest Donald Trump? Who's going to arrest one of our generals? Yeah. Who? I mean, I don't. Not Europe's not going to do it, and they're the only ones.
Ready to see it.
I don't get me wrong. I agree.
I'm ready to see it.
It goes in the same way.
Agree with what you're saying.
Who's gonna stop him? Yeah. Nobody. He gonna do what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if he want to take Canada, he gonna take Canada. What are they gonna do? Put in a report for him? He's like, I ain't leaving here. This is my castle. He ain't got.
Have y'all seen what's happening around the world? Have y'all seen what's been going on around the world?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
They've been protesting in all the countries. All the countries are protesting because Donald Trump is in office in the United States. They want him out too. All the other countries
they did that last time he was around
protesting. No, but this one's bigger. This one's huge. Yeah, we have like the other countries are doing protests here and there. No, they're all doing it right now. Millions of people in the streets yelling high heavens. Italy literally put a black Statue of Liberty in an orange suit with chains wrapped around her. For a parade.
You know the cool part about it is Italy has a far right-wing government in place right now. Germany is about to get a far right-wing government in place right now. These countries are having their own problems at home. We're basically heading towards the direction that we're in right now. There's a problem around the world
because they know that Elon Musk has been paying, just like he paid for the Germany guy. He put money in the Germany's hand so he could buy the red hat guy.
You remember when just recently too, over in England, they were having all those riots and stuff where they were beating up immigrants or whoever else. This has been a problem brewing for a while over here. Remember in France, they said I think they're called minarets. I think it's kind of like the top of the what are they called? What is Muslim churches called? I can't remember the name of them. The mosque. Yeah, sorry about that. I apologize for that. But they can't have those. They stop allowing those to be erected. You know what I mean? So absolutely. So at the end of the day, you know, they made it so that women could no longer wear the hijab. Then this has already been, they've already been attacking immigrants, migrants, people of color in these countries for a while. Now their governments are starting to lean that way. Our government went that way. It's a bigger problem than what we're even paying attention. They got their own issues. Look at Norway. Those countries are having those same problems as well too. Norway, Finland, those right-leaning governments are starting to come into power in those countries. You know what I mean? Look at what, you know, we got to start paying attention to the bigger problem that's happening here. There's not going to be anyone to stop him. There's not going to be anyone to stand up. I'm not saying taking Canada will not be just be that easy. That'll be a totally different kind of a war. Taking Mexico will not be that easy. I do think we're going to have some issues with Mexico before we have them with Canada. We'll have tariffs on them, but we won't go to war with them. We'll invade Mexico. And like, I won't say invade to take land. I will say he will send in probably some type of paramilitary groups in there to kill different cartel members, heads of cartels. I think he will do that. But that's invading a sovereign country. You're still doing that. That'd be like if Mexico sent in people to invade, to kill people who are selling guns to Mexican cartels. They could do that's the same exact thing. You're killing our people by sending us guns. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending you drugs, you're sending us guns. What's the difference? You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, I get what you're saying.
No,
David, I just sent you a video from January 19th. I don't know if it was delivered yet. It hasn't been delivered yet, but it's on its way. No, I sent it text message.
It's just
I
okay.
send a video through email. Because did y'all
There
hear
you go,
what
I
he
see it right
said
here.
on January 19th?
What did he say? I like the way you preface your questions too. I like the way you lead us into the question like that.
You know
Go
what I'm
ahead.
saying? Like, let me finish.
Go ahead.
He technically admitted on January 19th
Oh, I
that
got
the
that
election
video.
was rigged.
What he's D-Mac sent me the video too before, because what he said though is kind of like it was
He
ambiguous.
said the one time that I heard it,
he
he said,
said it.
well, he's like because
The
they
election
rigged
was
the
rigged for
election.
me.
He's like, because the election was rigged for me, he's like, I'm able to be here now. So he was saying that the one he tried to run before, he said that basically, I watched it so many times, it's like, okay, it makes sense. He was saying the election that was
in
that he
2020,
lost
he was talking about the
rigged.
election 2020 was rigged.
Yeah.
You know, that's but the way he talks, he's not concise. He's not like, you know what I mean, but that's what he would, that's what I got that he was saying. That election was rigged against him in 2020. Do I believe that Elon understands computers and voting machines? Do I think that might be some kind of, you know, omission or admission of some type of guilt, you know, Freudian slip? Possibly, you know what I mean, more than just what he was saying about the election being rigged in 2020, because that's what he was trying to allude to. Or they rigged this election. But now you told us, because we heard about Elon's all the different algorithms he had going out there, everything he was working with, and how he knew before anyone else knew that the election was already won, and he left. And he told him, because who was that? Joe Rogan who said this, or was that Dana White?
He knew 4 hours. Joe Rogan was at the election party thing or whatever the case may be that night, and Elon Musk, I'm going home. Because he already knew that Donald Trump won. He said the exact numbers that Donald Trump won by and everything, and left.
And I'm not pushing that the election was stolen or rigged, because I think people voted for him. I think he won, just like I think he won in 2020.
I think they just got enough people not to show up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there could be some stuff in Philly that happened, but also it's like at the end of the day, it's like who's gonna go back and be like, wait, there's something wrong with this election. He's still in power. They're not gonna
wait. But guess what? Jasmine Crockett is the one from Texas, the strong black lady who's in Senate. This is her second term.
Mm-hmm.
I love her.
Congress.
She caught it on January 19th. Her and another senator is already working, and the senator that she's working with is Republican. So they're already working on an article of impeachment and removing him from office, and they're using his own words against him.
I hope. We all know how every president, I think, since pretty much Clinton has been getting impeached. I think everybody's gotten it. I'm not sure about Bush. I don't remember. I think they probably should have put an impeachment article against him.
They did
the second one. I don't, you know what I mean? But I think they did it to Obama. They did it to they tried to impeach Obama. They impeached Donald Trump. I think he might have been impeached. I'm not sure. I can't
Donald
remember.
Trump for the third time. He'll just drop a hot fire mixtape.
Yeah, they're not. He's not going anywhere right now. I think these first 2 years they're going to try to get as much done as they possibly can, because they're about to lose the House. I think they're losing the House after these first 2 years. Once we start seeing what how these tariffs and these laws, these things that he's putting in place, not even say laws, but just executive orders that he's putting in place, how they're going to play out. People are going to come out in groves and vote against them. This is where, but they're going to have moved the needle so far already. In those 2 years, they're going to have done a lot of the work that they wanted to do. This is not Donald Trump's work they're doing. This is Project 2025 playing out right in front of us. And we're acting like we don't. Like everybody said this isn't even his thing. Well, let's go back and look. We can look line by line and see what he's done, and then what's in that Project 2025.
He can't even sit there and be naive about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, they lied to you. They said, no, we're not going to do Project 2025, and they're doing it. They're implementing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, fuck. It's too late. So it is what it is. There's a thing, something I wanted to cover today. I read this article, and it was I thought it was so wild I had to share with everybody. Fake firefighters with bogus truck arrested near LA wildfires. And so basically it was this guy. He's from Oregon. He was with his girlfriend. He was already convicted of arson before. He bought a fake fire truck, and he was going into the Palisades, or in the areas of LA that were evacuated. Yep. And they just caught it because it looked real, but they were like, something wasn't right about it. So they stopped him and they arrested him and his girlfriend. And these two, they were going into the places that were already evacuated, and they had the tools to break into people's homes.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, but that a lot of people were getting caught basically looting and robbing at that point in time, during the fires. I mean, at the end of the day, this is not me saying this is a good thing that was going on, but if these houses are all going to burn down and all the stuff's going to be lost in them,
Who gives a fuck? Right? Like, who cares if you're gonna loot it?
If they're looting people's houses that were not in immediate danger, and I guarantee they were looting them houses too. So we got to kind of guess if they loot those ones, they're gonna loot the rest. So they're gonna just go down the block. Like, okay, we don't care if you.
No, they had sophisticated burglary tools is what they said they have. And so I'm just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It shows that in the chaos, people still see I can make something out of it.
Opportunity. Yeah. And it's a bad kind of opportunity, but at the end of the day, you know, people are going to take it where they can, and pretty soon they're going to have to take even more because of the policies that are in place right now. They're going to definitely have to go, you know, a lot harder to get what they want to have, you know, get what they're going to get, because it's not going to get easier. Look, they're about to put $500 billion into AI. I was just in where was I at? I was in, I think, San Francisco Airport, right? Like I told you guys before, not on this show though, but basically I saw the barista machine. They had the mechanical arm barista machine in there, just moving with you know what I mean, with the mechanical arm. It didn't need anybody. There wasn't a person there taking money. There was nothing. It was just us just sitting here recording it. Like, it was about 4 or 5 people sitting around recording, the rest of everybody getting coffee. You know what I mean? Like this computer, it will wave at you.
It was cool then.
I'm like, look at this, like this is crazy. The dudes there every while it's sitting there, while it's like on chill mode, waiting for the coffee to get done. It'll wave at you and do other stuff like that. But man,
a lot of these so check it out. All those people they told you that were essential workers, they were until the robots came. You know what I'm saying? Like all those jobs are going to be replaced. Think about it. Like when McDonald's, the food comes in already pre-cooked. You know what I'm saying? You just got to heat it right back up. And then, they can have a machine do that. You know, Wendy's, they cook the burgers every day. Once Chipotle figures out how to do it, it's a wrap.
Did you hear about Larry Ellison coming out saying, I got to find the article, but talking about how AI is going to be able to make cancer drug, like make a cancer treatment program for you. So he got rid of all, I guess Trump did something like did away with some kind of like research, like research and development wing of the government for some type of healthcare. Got rid of it, and
they put a pause on communication between all the government, the agencies too. They're like, don't talk, don't do nothing, don't do no research. We're gonna wait and see what we're trying to do right now.
It's just
it's crazy. I have a homegirl, because he put a pause on all federal job hiring. I had a homegirl that went for an interview. She was supposed to become a veteran nurse, a VA nurse. So she was supposed to move states and everything. She did, because the job was supposed to start in 2 weeks. So they gave her 2 weeks to like pack up her home, the family, move get them comfortable. As soon as they got to the next state, because he had just froze the federal job hiring, she ain't got no job.
That it's been happening to a lot of people. I guess a couple down in Texas, they had just sold all their stuff too, went through the same exact thing you're talking about right now. His wife had gotten a job like in Florida or somewhere like that with the federal government, and he's crying. He made a whole letter to. I know this was I'm an unintended consequence of.
Oh, that's the one that voted for Donald Trump.
Just a bunch of people. You're looking at all the different Latino people who are under attack. You're under attack. They don't care. They're going to run in your house. They don't care. Like there was a law put in place back in, I think it was during FDR, where they went and they seized like 2 million Mexicans or over 1 million Mexicans and just kicked them out the country. He basically said, I don't care.
What state is it that they like technically told the civilians they can bounty for immigrants?
Missouri.
It's Missouri and Mississippi's trying to do one now, but I don't know if they've already passed it, but I know they're putting it in motion. It's going to pass because everyone's going to be okay with this. You think people aren't going to want $1,000?
People are going to want $1,000 per person. You can make a lot of money. I'm not even. That's why I'm saying like you can make it. Am I going to do it? Nah, bro. Because nah.
This ain't my fight. This ain't my fight. This ain't my fight.
Listen, people
got. That's how I look at it.
When people see people walking around with the headphone with the money like this, people gonna start thinking like, you know, say, hey, I got friends of mine. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just saying, people are gonna. Hey, you're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna be the same people who are on the Underground Railroad making calls on other black people. You're gonna have that happening. Believe me, $1,000, man, per person.
Per person. Think about you get a whole family of 9.
Hey man, you crazy, bro. He
said,
that's what I would do. I want the Mexican family got like 12 kids.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you hear me? She said 12 kids.
You get 22 people in a home.
You know what
This
I'm
is
saying?
crazy.
Be careful.
Yeah,
They
But
just in
I'm
there
just
packed
saying,
like sardines, like we was last night at the
yeah,
basketball game. Just packed like
people
sardines
gonna be
in the house.
banned out, and it depends how quickly they're gonna give you the money. Like, do you get the money that Friday? Like, if you snitch on somebody,
And you know, there's no the funny
probably
part about
immediately.
this.
Cash
So
app.
you know what the funny part about this is? So you remember when they were looking for Luigi and they put the phone number out, and then you have to call the regular phone number to the FBI hotline so they can like do the investigating and like Luigi or whatever. And the lady never got the money because she called 911 instead of the hotline number.
Mm-hmm.
Black folks, we read. So we gonna read the whole entire thing, like what exactly we need to do to get our money, because they're not gonna play with us.
I
If you
yeah.
really
But
think
also,
about it.
I posted
Yeah,
If
no,
you
it's
really
all
think about it, like we're not gonna just call 911 and be like, oh yeah, there's immigrants right here. Like, no, we're literally that detailed that we'll be like, okay, we'll read the whole entire thing to make sure that we don't mess up our own pockets.
I hope I know a lot of us gonna do it. And no, people, it's against our best interest, and we don't see it. Just like a lot of us went and didn't speak out against what was going on. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of times I had people conversate with me like, man, I feel like you're really invested in this. It's because I already saw this coming. I'm like, okay, this is what's about to happen. You don't see the play. The play is already in motion. He's got the courts. He got everything he needs to do exactly what he wants to do, and can't nobody stop him. Everyone thought everything was just business as usual. Oh, man, this is just America. This is just what happens. No, it's not. This is something different right now, because now you got the power to do whatever you want, and you got the correct people behind you to help you just grab it. And you got this country has already been, a very
and I want to share something with
country.
the group here.
Go ahead.
I want to share something with the group, because I saw this article. I tried to post it on our page on Facebook. I'm gonna show it here, and I'm gonna post it on there. Just something happened where it didn't want to show it, but I just want you guys to see this headline. All right, and this is real. And I told my kids about this too. You know what I'm saying? And I brought this up before. I was like, and I told a friend of mine, he was like, yeah, I'm so happy, Trump got elected, da 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 da. I was like, bro, you do realize I have to carry around my my papers now. You know what I'm saying? Because U.S. citizens are being told to carry around persons, because just in case you're getting caught up in a raid, they're saying the Native Americans in the article have been walked up on and questioned if they're Mexican or not, and do you have your papers on you? Like, that's one thing about it. Like, someone can bounty us at any time. Think about how many times they're going to visit your house, maybe twice, 3 times, come to the area looking at you because someone says, hey, there's an illegal up here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And a bounty hunter doesn't have to have grace with you. He ain't got no body cam. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have to care.
I can't carry my birth certificate because my birth certificate is pink. Because I wasn't born here. I'm a U.S. citizen, but I was not born here. So I can't just carry around my birth certificate.
Yeah, I mean, I got people on my page who are saying the same thing about having to carry their papers around with them, and it's just because they're Latinos. They're carrying. They're like, man, I'm doing this because they had ICE up in Seattle. You know what I mean? Like running through different places. So now, and they're pulling anybody over. They're trying to go, like they said, we talked about already. They're going into schools. They tried to go into a school. I can't remember where.
Texas for a while.
I can't remember where the place was, but
actually,
the lady
Secret
stopped
Service.
them.
It was the Secret Service. It was Chicago, but it wasn't ICE. It was the Secret Service. They clarified that, which is weird. Like, why is the Secret Service going into school?
And that's one of the people right there who, I mean, we look at it. Every branch is bought into this. Every branch, Secret Service. He's gonna have a CIA. Every branch is bought into this because they're all a part of that same logic. You know what I mean? They're all a part of that same exact.
He gave them all the power. He gave them all the power to all the agencies here. Like, you all have the same power now to deport migrants and stuff and take them in. And this is, so I mean, think about it. I know as a black man, I have to have my ID on me at all times. I get carded so much that the film on my ID started to come off, and then they didn't want to accept it. And then when I told them why it was like that, they accepted it. But I knew I have to get a new ID card. We know as African Americans and brown people, black folks, you need to have an ID on you, because if you don't, and the cop is having a bad day, he can arrest you and lock you up until they can figure out who you are. So I already live in this world. So I don't know why I'm acting nervous, but I fear for my children. You know what I'm saying? And I fear for the people that mess with my children, because what they think they're going to do, they don't know. They don't understand how crazy I'm ready to wild out for my kids. Like, you think Cersei Lannister is somebody, you ain't met me. So, you know what I'm saying? That's my only concern. But I tell my kids, I make sure they have IDs, because I've already been through this systematic process through growing up here. So, but I mean, it's crazy. Like, everyone else doesn't understand. Like, yeah, bro, I would drive with people that aren't black, and I'd be like, "Hey, you got your ID?" They're like, "Nah, I left it at home. I won't need it. It'll be fine." I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't.
It's,
I never
it's not
had
the
that.
same worries. It's not the
Yeah.
same like carefree kind of attitude or knowing that things are going to kind of work out and go the way they need to go for you when things kind of hit the fan. I mean, everyone knows it's been a long time since this has been going on in this country. So I mean, we really got to just stay vigilant, pay attention to what's happening, and just stay up on the news and kind of keep talking about this as much as we possibly can, because it's going to end up getting worse and worse. I think there's just a lot of us who really feel like this has nothing to do with us. This fight is not ours, and we're not willing to kind of like step up and take on the fight, because there's it seems like a lot of us are happy that this is happening to immigrants.
I'm still terrified.
I mean, and as you should be, because people who speak out, you're also a target. People who talk say, "Oh, I think this is wrong. I think this is that and the third." They could be like, maybe you're hiding them. This is what the Gestapo used to do back in Germany. You think about back in Germany, they were running inside people's houses and are you a sympathizer? Just go in your house, ransack your house, search around for people. They could do that to anybody right now and say, just because you're online. Look at the guy who made I guess he said one bullet can end all this. It was a black gentleman in Florida that put up a post about Trump and they arrested him. You guys heard about that? Yeah, let me I got the article. I got a little article I think on it. Let me see. But yeah, he basically he made a social media post. Let me see. Basically, it says, according to NBC News, police in West Palm Beach, Florida, on Saturday announced the arrest of a 46-year-old man who allegedly made threats on social media to kill President Trump. At a news conference, the police chief said police received a tip on January 19th, the day Shannon Atkins lodged threats against Trump on social media, basically by saying to kill. Basically, said America needs one good bullet to be saved. And that's basically what he said online. I mean, is that not freedom of speech? Is that a threat?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Is that a threat?
Censorship. I mean, they don't care. As long as it's censored, they don't care. They'll let you put out misinformation. They'll let you talk good about Trump, which is misinformation kind of deal. They don't care about that. But when it's facts and it's real stuff, they're like, hold on, we don't want nobody to know about this.
People have life confused.
He didn't say to kill him.
No. People have life confused too. Like when you're on social media, there's freedom of speech. But when you sign up for something, just like the Disney stuff, you scroll all the way through the user agreement to get to the bottom so you can get on to what you want to do. There's certain things you can't say. People have threatened presidents before, and if somebody reports you, they're going to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Which usually happens. And most people they only hang around their circle, so their circle likes to hear that kind of stuff. But if you put that in a public spectrum where everybody can see it, you know what I'm saying, then someone's going to report you. And yes, you're going to be charged with a crime. You know what I'm saying? You can't threaten officials online. You're not supposed to. Sometimes they ignore it.
Is that a threat though? You think that's a threat though? I'm saying one good bullet could make America great again. I think that's just, I think what they're doing, like we just talked about, they're only censoring real information. They're not censoring fake news, which is the most dangerous thing this country's dealt with in a long time. We see it all over online where people just post stuff and everybody runs with it, man. It's just people don't even do research. They don't even care.
I mean, you have to look at it right now. Facebook, X, and soon to be TikTok. TikTok is all right now, but as soon as it gets by, but Facebook and X are not. They're social medias for you and your friends now. That's cool, but they are not a place you can find real news. And they're not a place you can get real topics and all that stuff. You have to just understand that. I've been on Blue Sky actually. I've
been on Blue Sky too.
Yeah, I've been on Blue Sky because I was like, this guy Mad Slander. Shout out to Mad Slander. He said this shit. They were arguing about Fat Joe. He's like Elon Musk came out and did a Nazi salute. We still on his app using it, but everybody want to cancel Fat Joe. And I sat there and I thought about that for a second. And I thought about it when I laid there in bed and I thought about that. And I woke up and I said, fuck Twitter, fuck X. I'm done with it. Excuse my language, but I'm done with it. So I went to Blue Sky. It took me, I posted under, I was like, thank you, Mad Slander, for all the bullshit you be talking. I was like, but I can't in good conscience support, you know what I'm saying, somebody that does shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I gotta separate myself from it. And I've been on Twitter for
years,
years, like 14 years, bro.
You're
like
telling me about it. You've always praised Twitter before this whole, you've always said, yeah.
That was Miss Mama. No, we be on there. We was on there.
We be on there,
bro. Like that was the
place. But I left months ago.
Yeah.
And
I finally had to just be like, yeah.
I left months ago and went to Blue Sky because Blue Sky is ran by the people that originally started Twitter. They sold it to Elon Musk. He changed it to X. They came out with a new app. Elon Musk got mad. He almost tried to get them blocked or whatever the hell happened, but nothing happened to Blue Sky. It still came out. We still can use it, and there's no censorship on Blue Sky, but they do have fact checking on Blue Sky.
Yeah, Blue Sky. Like as soon as I found out they still have porn, I was like, cool, we're good. We're good to go here. And then it's like categorized. So like if all you want to see is Donald Trump shit, whatever, I don't care. If all you want to see is Republican conservative messages, that's what you can see. If all you want to see is Democratic stuff, that's what you can see. If you want to see it all, you can see it all. I'm on Black Sky up there. You know, they used to have Black Twitter, right? Now they got Black Sky. So now it just shows me all my people's posts. And the app is so fresh, you can actually still become somebody. Like on Twitter, bro, you could blow up on Twitter. You get the right kind of tweet in there. You know what I'm saying? That's where stars were made. So
I mean, you look at right now, they're basically forcing TikTok to be sold to America, pretty much. And he's already said that he isn't opposed to Larry Ellison or Elon Musk partnering with the United States to buy this company. So he pretty much was already going to know, I got these two guys in my back pocket. That's now you got TikTok, you got Meta, and you also got Twitter. So basically he's running the media. I mean, you also got the Washington Post because you got Jeff Bezos. I mean, it's getting to a point to where censorship is only going to be about good information. It's only going to be about correct information. It's not going to be about lies. They don't want to censor lies in this country, and we need that more than anything else, my personal opinion, because there's just too many lies being put online. People are like, well, go.
They want us to fear. It's fear mongering.
Yeah. Hey,
so
people do a lot of stuff.
The more they make us more fearful of something, then more people are going to believe it. And so now they're like, oh, now they believe. Like, did y'all know that the price of groceries went up 37% since the 20th?
Nope, didn't know that.
Oh. Yeah, the prices of eggs went up 37% already. And then what executive order has he signed to lower groceries?
Nothing. Actually,
even though he said that it was going to be
they raised the medicine price back up.
I don't think he's really focused on that, right? I think he's focused on the business end of everything. I was going back and forth online of America, but I was going back and forth online with a guy, and he basically said to me, he was like basically, oh, well, he did this. How do you know he doesn't have another plan in place? I said, so why didn't he just take that what was already there, leave it, and then add on to it? Because it's already going to help seniors. So now you're taking away. He's like, well, that the law wasn't set to take effect until 2026. So it doesn't matter. I said it does matter because seniors live on fixed incomes, so they were planning around this happening. That was a part of their retirement planning. Oh, I can do this. I'm only going to have to pay no more than $2,000 a year in medical costs. I don't have to pay maybe $10 for my insulin or whatever they had going on, whatever the drugs that were on that list.
$15 insulin or something.
So they could prepare for these things happening. So him taking, all he had to do was look at like, okay, yeah, this isn't my law, this isn't my order, but I can add on to this. But they never have done that about anything. You haven't done anything. You haven't done that about the healthcare laws. You've never helped America. When has Republicans ever truly did what was best for the American people? Tell me, I'll wait. You know what I mean? To be perfectly honest.
I don't know.
They do what's best for business. That's why you got people.
People need to understand this too. By the time that it really affects all of us and everyone, every last American is actually touched by the policies that are happening now, it'll be way too late for anything to change, and nothing will ever go back to being the way it was.
I mean, it's hard to ever see it going back because people will never forget. You're not going to forget who tried to take away your rights. You're not going to forget who was good with your, with you being in a situation to where,
people will. People will think about it. How to get elected again? Nobody was even outside during his last election year. We were stuck in the house because of COVID. Now you can say, oh, well, that's, this and this happened. No, it was the mismanagement of COVID. Some states stayed open. It was a mismanagement of everything. And so we were stuck inside. Nobody was working. You were sitting on your ass wondering if the world was going to end or not. So you forget about that because you can say, hey, Joe Biden's presidency was horrible, but you were still out there working, living your life, going to concerts, enjoying shows, doing things with your family while you still had time to complain about it. And so you forgot about that. You forgot about how bad it was that first year of COVID. You forgot about how the kids missed school, how people didn't graduate, how athletes couldn't get scholarships, how people had life plans that were supposed to happen with you, and all that was lost. You know what I'm saying? But hey, they're like, hey, let's do it again. So it's whatever.
With one stroke of a pen. With one
Yeah.
stroke of a pen.
Yep.
Don't forget
Let's
that
do it
part
again.
too.
But let's
With
do
one
it sooner
stroke of a
because
pen.
the bird flu is here right now. It's making it so the egg production is down. You know what I'm saying? So a dozen eggs was $10 at the store. Is that too much? I buy mine. I don't eat eggs.
I mean, they're
I
saying
don't
like
eat eggs
$12
either,
now. I
but-
mean, they probably used to be like $6.99. I'm not sure, but it was
Probably be cheaper than that.
He said 37%. But look at this. He's also asking that the interest rates be cut again. And so, you know what I mean? I know that everyone's going to think that's a great thing because that means housing prices are cheaper. People can go buy houses. That's cheaper. But that also led to inflation that we just had, that we're going through right now. That helped lead to a government spending is the cause of inflation. People don't realize that. So it was his inflation during his time in president, during his time being president, and also Obama as well. It was that spending that led to us going into the, having this hyperinflation that we had, so we got to start looking at the policy. Only reason he wants that so it looks good for him, not that it's good for America, because interest rates were never as low as they were during COVID ever in history. And so, I mean, maybe, but never pretty much, you know what I mean? So it's just crazy to me to sit back and pay attention to what he's doing over and over again. But I think that the same people who didn't vote for him last time, because he pretty much got the same amount of votes again. He got about 75. I think he got 74 million before that or something like that. He got about 75, 76 million. He got about the same amount of votes. So the same people came out and voted for him. It wasn't like it was an overwhelming victory. It was an overwhelming electoral college victory, but it was not an overwhelming.
Well, I mean, that's all you really need, right? You don't need the popular vote. You need electoral college.
But that's just saying the people are not fully on board with him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. As long as you win it that simple way. It's like,
absolutely.
That's how he could tell. He's like, yo, we already got the districts. He probably focused on what districts they needed. That's how they knew 4 hours early. They're like, oh, no, we already won. It's over. What they did was they saw that like in certain counties where he performed, like we'll say Biden performed to this extent in these certain counties, what they did was they looked at it. Okay, where's Kamala performing at right now? And if she wasn't performing as well in those same counties, they knew that she couldn't win the election because he barely beat. I mean, Biden barely beat Trump when he beat him the last time in a lot of these battleground states, and that's kind of what happened with this one right here. So I mean, we really got to start like paying attention to really what's happening and stop letting things that we don't think affect us. I think a lot of people thought this election was not going to affect them. This had nothing to do with them at all. But now they're feeling that. Now they're starting to see it. They're seeing it every single day.
They thought it wasn't going to happen to them because they voted for him.
Yep, and they thought it wasn't. And I think a lot of us felt like it didn't. Hey, I like him because he's good for business. When was he good for business?
Never.
Ever.
But what? But the good news is about it since then. So, because how he's trying to like cancel the Board of Education and whatever the case may be, there's a new HBCU and it's free and it's on TikTok. I'm in 22 classes already.
Okay. I mean,
so it's like it's technically like black. It's mostly black teachers that are doing videos or doing the live streams or whatever the case may be for that class, and they have like their doctorates or whatever masters in like a certain area, like I'm in a law class with this one professor. He's a lawyer and he done graduated law school and all that, so he has the credentials to teach in that certain area kind of deal.
So basically we're gonna have to figure out our way around what's already coming, already in the pipeline right now, because
and so the 92% is figuring out a way around. Like, okay, you want to cancel the Board of Education? You don't want us to have education? Don't worry about it. We already have black people that can literally teach other black people. Like, of course, we're not going to get a certificate. We're not going to get a degree, but we're going to know about it. We're going to be educated about that certain area.
I'm just upset that they mixed us in with the gays. Like, it's crazy how DEI just means black, brown people, or black people, women in the gays, which
the gay. That's crazy. But go ahead, finish up what you're saying.
LGBTQ.
Yeah, I mean, like this. Hey, but this is how I look at it. It doesn't even matter who you mix us in with, or what. They're looking at it as an overall thing. All these people.
Wait, do you think I call them the gays?
I think that people might consider that insulting.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm just that's.
Hey, I don't know.
I don't know. I just go by their acronym LGBTQIA+. Turns out I don't know any more letters after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go by black either. So I mean, I was just saying that's kind of what I was trying to make it G-rated because I know how they really say it. I know how they really say it.
That's crazy. Hey, no, but
you should be crazy. You should be. Everyone should be crazy.
Hey, listen, I don't think that even you gotta look at it like this. Women are also a part of that as well too. They look at them as a part of that too. That's a whole group of people. So it's not like this was anything other than white males. Yeah. That's what this is. So this has nothing. It's not like they mixed us in. They just said, all y'all besides us. You know what I mean? That's what they said. Anybody besides me, Brad, such and such, and the other guy over here. That's who's DEI hires. And I don't even. To me, man, I know what that DEI means. DEI is code word for the N word. Period.
On the plus side, though, I ain't got a scam call in weeks. Weeks. I'm like, my phone been dry.
What do you think that has? What do you think that's about?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Donald Trump, they were like, oh, he's coming in. Ain't nobody called me trying to steal nothing from me. Like, kind of weird.
Because they already knew that we don't have it for them to steal. Because we have to pay 37% more just to buy food.
Just for groceries right now. I mean, and this I almost look at it like this. I don't blame him for the grocery prices right now, only because he's just got here.
You just got there.
You just got here. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to figure it out. But it has not been. It hasn't been on his agenda.
Donald Trump's that. He's that. Excuse my language. He's that motherfucker. So if Donald Trump was to come up and he'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna need y'all to lower the grocery prices for my peoples out here. You know what the good businesses are gonna do? They're gonna lower the prices.
Lower the price.
Look at Colombia wouldn't take a flight. He's like, I got you. Tariffs, sanctions, visa restrictions, cooked. If Donald Trump wanted it done, he would get it done. Let's not question Teflon Don's authority to put his fucking thumb down on somebody and squeeze them. So if you want the grocery prices to come down, he would sell them. They do it in a snap. If you want the medicine prices to go down, he do it and they do it in a snap. Watch. He said, hey, lower the interest rates. They're going to lower the interest rates.
I don't know if the Fed's going to go. I don't know if the Fed's are going to do that. I mean, I think they're going to probably bring it down by another 0.25% or something like that because they've already had plans maybe to do it, I think, in March. But I don't think they're going to come down as low as he wants them to. He wants it back to like pandemic levels so that basically banks are getting free money. They can just lend, and the economy will look good even though it's bad. That's what he's trying to do.
He'll give him a reasonable. He'll give him an absurd number, and they'll give him a reasonable one, and they'll meet in the middle somewhere. But I mean, see, this is the whole thing. Before Donald Trump could say things, and he had people around him that can help him do it. Excuse me. Now he runs the whole infrastructure. It's not to the point where, okay, yeah, it's cool. You don't want to do what I gotta say, what I tell you to do, right? But I know your family live over here. I know your kids go to this school. He's like, I got people in place. I got people in place. I got people in place to fuck with your whole web of family members. You know what I'm saying? Like a mafia boss. So you have to put that in perspective. Like he gonna tell you to do something, and you gonna do it. Or you know what? I think you're hiding migrants in your home. I'm gonna have somebody come raid it. Boom. You know what? I think you're stealing money from your job. I'm gonna have somebody come spy on you. They're gonna audit your whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he can fucking shit on anybody at any point. You think talking bad about Jews and Israel's gonna fucking fuck you over? Wait till you say something. Look at the bishop. They're like, you need to apologize. The lady that was on the stand
asked for mercy.
They said we want a written apology from you.
Let me ask you guys this. I felt like, I mean, honestly, it probably wasn't the time or place.
It was.
You know what I mean? Presidents don't come like to churches like that and to be kind of like singled out as you know, like they.
It was a prayer. It was a prayer. She literally was asking in the prayer for mercy on people because people are terrified.
Did she say his name? Did she say his name though?
No, she never said their name. She just said, we were praying for mercy because the LGBTQ is terrified. Immigrants are terrified. She's just literally praying about mercy.
Now I understand, but I mean, you
she
know
looked
though.
At him.
Okay, I almost want to say that I don't know for sure she didn't say his name, but she's like, if she addressed him as I want to address the president. She said something that was like made it so he looked up kind of. I didn't hear it, so I can't.
I mean, honestly, look at it from the other side.
Like,
my bad.
You probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't do that. If you're setting a new precedent by doing this, it shouldn't bring that religion in this standpoint, or from that, because we've seen preachers at his at his rallies and all that kind of stuff, but that's different. Those are his rallies. If this is a national prayer or whatever it was, right? And so this president's come here all the time, not to be preached about, not to be told left or right. It's just a prayer. They're just showing their.
She didn't tell him what to do. She was asking for mercy for certain people in the United States.
And
that's
it's also like,
that's like him taking away the birthright citizenships away from Native Americans. Native Americans were here before any American that was white, black, yellow, green, or blue. Where are they supposed to go if they lose their citizenship?
They're trying to do that right now. Trying to do it right now.
Like, where are they supposed to go? This is their land.
No, don't get.
So it's the same thing. So if a white lady's literally asking for mercy for the LGBTQ and immigrants, that's it. Just take it in. It doesn't matter, because Donald Trump will literally, if she literally said it in on a private phone call, put it in a letter or anything else, he still would have done the same exact thing that they're doing now. They still would have been bashing her and telling her that she needed to publicly apologize for literally asking for mercy. It doesn't matter. There is no time and place with Donald Trump. There's no time and place for Donald Trump.
I can agree with the part of where you're saying that she's that there's no time or place for Donald Trump. However, if it's never been done at a national prayer breakfast, if it's never been done and she set a precedent by doing that, I would look at it like you probably shouldn't have done that there, because I wouldn't want someone to do that to Obama. I wouldn't want somebody to do it to Biden. I wouldn't want some, even the people who I agree with. Do I disagree with what she said? With the premise of what she was talking about? No, I don't disagree with that. I don't think what she said was wrong at all.
You gotta also look at it like this. Once again, Gary Newsom in California, who's been going under the fires, have been calling Donald Trump for weeks, and he did not answer. And then he decided to try to show up into LA unannounced, technically.
No, they knew he was coming.
Gary Newsom was, they knew he was coming, but he didn't invite Gary Newsom to meet him at the Termax. Gavin Newsom literally showed up, and he literally was like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here when you land. I'm gonna be here. Try
so you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
So you have to do it when it's in the public spot. She had the same thing.
Hey, Gavin Newsom's like the hood dudes in Compton, bro. You're gonna have to check in when you come see us. You know
Arizona,
what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Governor of Arizona did the same thing to Obama. Remember the governor of Arizona did the same thing. Obama put her finger in his face like this, wagged her finger at him, showed up to the tarmac. I'm not sure if she just showed up there or not, or did he invite her? But I mean, the governor of Arizona, when she
invited her there, but she's gonna do what she's gonna do. And they're like, oh my God, she did it or whatever. Like they made it like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it wasn't like Obama like, send me a fucking.
Obama should have been like, just like, flinched on her.
She was really like up in his grill with it. But I mean, back to the point that you have made previous to, like I said, I don't disagree with what she's saying. But I mean, I'm looking at it like this. Does anyone agree with mercy on the Palestinians? Or I'm not even sure she brought that up or not. Do we agree with mercy on immigrants in this country who we know are being, are under attack? They're trying to act like, they've gotten some criminals. They've only gotten like 600 people, I think, right now, but they're definitely going to get more when they start ramping up these $1,000 payments. It's about to go crazy. I'm not even sure we're going to get the money from to pay everybody $1,000 for a person. They can be telling people who ain't immigrants. But so nobody disagrees with that part of it she's saying, but I think just her, it's almost crazy because it's like she took that platform and ran with it, which some people do. Kanye did it. He said George Bush don't care about black people. That's basically a Kanye moment for the church. That's what that was right there. She took it. I guarantee she didn't run this by anybody before she did it. This wasn't part of her probably pre-prepared speech she gave to the archdiocese or whoever she gave it to. I guarantee you she took this.
I think she's part of. I think she was part of the LGBT. I think she's part of the LGBTQIA. I mean, I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure.
Hey, from a visual standpoint, I'm like this. It's a possibility. It's a strong possibility. If your person would have asked me,
but I'm not gonna say she is or she isn't.
Or she ain't.
But I mean, if that is your only time to literally get a message out to the president and the vice president of the United States for your people or for people just in general, I'm not saying she's part of that people. She could be an immigrant. We don't know. She
Look at her
could
like
be
this. My. I'm looking at her
or
like this.
whatever.
I know why you said what you said. I know exactly why she said what she said. I don't care what nobody say. You can ask me. You know what I mean? I'm looking at her like, yeah, okay.
But that
Ooh.
You got
was
that haircut
like,
and
I get
everything.
it.
She got that cold haircut and everything.
I get where you're coming from. Like, it might have not have been the time and the place, but it might have been the only time and place that she was able to get that
To do it.
message
I mean,
across.
it definitely was. It was the biggest platform. She took her shot. I'm like I said, I'm not against what. Sometimes you got to take your shot, but I to me, I don't. What all they're going to ever do is that strengthens him. You know what I mean? Like amongst his people, his crowd. Look at these guys over here. It's a whole nother. It's good that she did it because it's good that she did it, but it strengthens him to his crowd. We're like, oh, now liberals are against or with the church. I mean, just all kind of weird stuff. You know how they try to make memes about it. They
But
really
they're
made
trying
her
to say
into
they're
a
with
meme.
the church too. Aren't they with the church? I swear they're with the church. I swear they're saying that they're Christians and that he has his own Bible out that he didn't even put his hand on during the inauguration because he brought his own Bible.
Definitely agree. I definitely agree. You know what I mean? That was just a crazy situation. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's in a situation right now where he got full power. You know what I mean? Full power to do whatever.
My daughter goes to a Catholic high school, and she said that the reason why Donald Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible is because he didn't want to get struck by lightning. She goes to a Catholic high school.
and it's crazy because when I saw that he didn't put his hand on the Bible, I was like, man, that's a pretty big, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't even put your hand on the Bible. That's crazy to me. Did you not know?
Bible. That's your Bible.
Did you not know to do this?
They don't care.
He knew
it ain't
because
it ain't
he put
about
his
it.
hand on the first time he was inaugurated, right?
Yeah, that's the first time.
He put his hand on the Bible the first time when it was outside. Maybe he felt safer outside. I don't know why you moved it inside and not put your hand on the Bible. Maybe because you're in the closer and closer there, you're gonna get extra struck.
Yeah, he done sold something. You know what I mean? He done sold something.
To the devil. He's like, if you keep me out of jail, I'll never. He's like, I can't touch that. I'll explode.
He already, you know what I mean? So that's kind of. I'm looking at that like that's probably a good possibility, man.
Yeah, so we have a whole nother week ahead of us. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to our town hall. Thank Miss Mai for coming through. We will be back again 1 p.m., 7 o'clock. If you'd like to join the discussion, you can also put your messages to the right, or you can just, Sunday. Ask for a link and we got you. 1 p.m. Sunday. We'll see you guys at town hall and we'll keep you updated. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share to Webb's Network Media, Uncommon Courtesy 360. That's where we post all our content throughout the week. Thank you all for joining us. This is the end of the live stream. Oops.
Bye.
All right. I see you.
All right.